Hello class, my name is Joseph Murray and I will be responding to Pablo Gomez's debate that the United States should withdraw troops from Afghanistan. Although I agree that the United States should withdraw militarily from Afghanistan, I do not support the way the United States did it, and I think we should have reconsidered. I believe that if you break something, you have to fix it, and I think that we broke Afghanistan. We completely uprooted the way of life and the government in Afghanistan, and we did not do an adequate job of rebuilding the infrastructure or the institutions there so that Afghanistan could continue living a normal life and regulating a normal country when we leave. The way the United States left was very rushed, very hurried. A lot of our equipment, bases, tactical positions, things like this have now immediately fallen into the hands of the Taliban. The Afghan National Army did not really have a lot of prior warning or ability to take these critical junctures that the United States left. Not only did we withdraw from Afghanistan, we quite literally set them up for failure in how we left. I think that we should have supported the creation of public goods and more infrastructure so that the people do not have to turn to extremism. If you look historically into the rise of the Taliban, especially after the Russian occupation, the Taliban rose from refugees due to economic crises. They were housed in Pakistani madrasas where they became increasingly radicalized by radical Islamists in Pakistan. And after the Russians left, they came back to Afghanistan with their more radical view of how the world should have, or how the world should operate. The reason that they were so radical again was because they were forced out of the country due to economic conditions and war, and they came back and changed Afghanistan. And we are creating the same thing right now. We are quite literally setting up Afghanistan for failure in the exact same way that led to the creation of the Taliban when the Soviet Union left. I do not think that is responsible of the United States. I think it is going to create more issues for us in the future, and I think historically we will look back on the United States leaving Afghanistan that at the same way that how we look at the United States accidentally creating ISIS today. I think that Afghanistan is going to fall to the Taliban rather quickly. I think it already is, but I think it will continue to. And I also think that other countries that are opposed to the United States, Iran by example, Russia by example, China, I think these countries have a high probability of recognizing the Taliban as not only the primary force in Afghanistan, but also the rightful government. And that will create a host of issues for the United States of America, seeing as the Taliban doesn't really like us. We are creating more enemies in the future, and we are also screwing over the people who we call our allies. We called the Afghan government our allies, we called the Northern Alliance our allies, and we're leaving them to hang. So for multiple reasons, I think it was a bad move. I think we are hurting the United States' credibility long-term in other foreign policy moves because now we are the country that leaves our allies behind and screws over the countries that we meddle with. Why should any other country or why should any other group or any other alliance work with the United States going forward, seeing as we treat them like we did the Afghan people? I think it's setting a very bad precedent, and I think we should reconsider in the future. So, in closing, no, I do not think we should have withdrawn the way that we did. I think the time to just flat out withdraw was immediately after, not extending the combat mission in the way that we did. But seeing as we did, we have to also pave the grounds for growth and reconstruction. And simply throwing money at Afghanistan, as we have done, is not enough. You can't just throw money at a country and snap your fingers and hope that things are going to solve themselves. As we saw in the 80s and 90s, trillions of dollars were just thrown at third world countries and they failed to develop. And creating healthy institutions is how countries develop and reconstruct. The United States failed to create healthy institutions and infrastructure. So again, institutions and infrastructure would have been my preferred route. I agree that we should withdraw. I do not like how we did it. You still did a good job in your debate. It's just a difference in how I view the world. Good job, Pablo. And, well, have a good rest of your class.